Hello YouTube and welcome. As you board the channel, please remember to keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside of the video at all times and enjoy your ride. I would say Planet Coaster is a good game. It's almost the ultimate sandbox. It is what I've been dreaming of since I played Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 at 9 years old. I'm a little disappointed that I can't drown people. I'd like to add a disclaimer, I don't mean real people. Anyway, this is Gateways, West Virginia, an incomplete and completely fake park. There's a dive coaster. It's called Omen. It has spooky vibes. And if you're some sort of chicken, we also have this family wooden coaster. We do host this cryptid escalator that spawns guests. It's in the entrance plaza, where you can also buy tickets, talk to guest services, rent a stroller, or take a big fat shit before you hit the road. Construction was halted in January 2024, and since then, that's all there is to do at Gateways, West Virginia. But today, we're going to add something really exciting and really dangerous, a splash pad. The edges are really ugly right now, so I'm going to start building some rockwork walls to keep the children and dehydrated adults inside of the splash pad. The splash pad needs lily pad. I'm gonna go ahead and add some splash to this pad. I think the number of special effect water items that Frontier included is insanely low. They also look really, really bad at night. I hate building stairs. Chat, don't try to report me for my tunnel, I mean splash pad. I assure you everything is above board. I added these safety railings. You could put hours into Planet Coaster and the area that you're working on will still be fugly. So let's put a fake waterfall here. Are you really gonna sit here and watch me speed paint with rocks again?
They're gonna play mermaids in the waterfall and they're gonna have a secret meeting of the mermaids.
This looks so abysmal and so dangerous right now. Would you let your child play here? You don't have to answer that. I cannot hear you. I don't know what to call these, but they remind me of lily pads and they belong here. I did all that shit over there off camera. I forgot to record. I don't bother to mulch tiny planter sections like this one because it's a pain in the ass. So I just spray paint it. Planet Coaster fountains without a display sequencer will all play simultaneously in a really ugly, boring fashion. So we have to set a timer for them, basically, to make sure that they all play in a sort of bouncy and mythical way. We also need the water tower to dump on us. All of the folders that you see labeled splash pad are identical. They are duplicated and each set to play about 5 seconds after the previous. This is not a display sequencer tutorial video though, I am so sorry. But while I have a few seconds, I'll let you know that display sequencers can trigger other sequencers. Great tip for organizing like a domino effect display or making a really long display. Because I've never finished a park, I've also never gotten to make a map, which is something I'm really excited to do. I think this will look really cool on the map. Pool snack bar food is really good. I don't care that it's actually really bad. If you build your Planet Coaster restrooms with this divider, it will look more real. This pathway is for staff members only. When you're building buildings, don't when you're building buildings, don't be afraid of these large gaps because you can throw a little border around it of pretty much any scenery item and then just fill it with mulch and put some plants in it and it looks great. Needs more rock. I take forever to build a roof, so I'm not going to make you watch, but I will tell you that roofing in the backstage area that guests cannot see from eye level will be concrete, and roofing that guests can see at eye level will be cool, not concrete. Hey, that looks pretty good! A ton of machinery goes in this building that makes the big dumpy work, and I don't know anything about it. Truthfully, if somebody wanted to get over this wooden railing, they could, but most good people will be deterred. Without plumbing, the building is still useful because it has a staff rest area, and I'm going to put the display sequencer inside. What? What a refreshing break. She got to stare at a wall. Frontier, I can only assume that you made a mistake when you forgot to put the advanced move function on the picnic tables. How fucking embarrassing. I also have to waste my time putting umbrellas on every single picnic table one at a time because, Frontier, you also forgot to let me put picnic tables, benches, and trash cans into blueprints and scenery groups. Guess what? I'm over it. I'm done working on this. Nighttime lighting. Go in. Yes, let's do some farm stuff. It only makes sense to work on this area next because it's the entrance to the finished splash pad. So I did it without you. I started with a fence. I filled the fence with mulch. I put some plants in the mulch, and then I put farm scenery in the mulch. And that's how you do farm stuff. It is a family flat ride farm, but that sightline is ugly. Make it higher. That's better. I'm not going to pretend that I have anything new or novel to say about the Planet Coaster terrain tool. It's testy, it takes a long time, but you can make cool things with it. Unless you want to put a path. Then you can't make cool things. I take it back. Call me Hillary Duff, there's hey now. Hey now. We need crops. We need fencing. We need a little something sweet. Oh my god, it's still fugly! We call that KIOP, keep idiots on path. I always put shades on my lines. They are great for shading from the sun, of course, and mounting nighttime lighting. This was finished with many wooden planks, trees, mulch, and hay.
Wishes, just your heart.
Okay, I'll make a roller coaster. This is the berry picker. It is a family spinning coaster. Look at how cool it is. I don't theme tracks until the end. I will come back to this and explain why later. Unfortunately, this is one of those really great roller coasters with a really boring line. I want you to picture like a Candyland character that grows berries, and their house, their like land is here. There's literally so many berries, and sometimes they have to dig a hole for more berries, and there's a well to get water for the berries. It's gonna be a little bit Minnie Mouse house core with like Victorian touches. Don't panic. Frontier forgot gates, but you can just sink a door into the ground instead. The truth is, a lot of what I complain about can be found with the Theme Maker's Toolkit. For anyone who does not play Planet Coaster, when I say Theme Maker's Toolkit or TMTK, I'm talking about fan-made custom content. Mulch is a TMTK item, and the giant lily pads from the splash pad are also a TMTK item. If you are a TMTK creator, even if I'm not subscribed to your item, I love you and I appreciate your work. If you're looking for prompts or practice to get in Blender and start making some assets, please join us in the Planet Coaster community and become a revered TMTK god. Don't you want to become the leader of a cult? I don't know what made me think that putting this house here would trick children into getting in line. They're not getting in line. Too scary. Blueberries are real, but what about purple berries? This looks more like a flower than a berry, but you're gonna have to cope. If you worked for Frontier and you made these tiny fairy tale windows, you are one of my elite employees. I hate that I'm building a dead end, but I am, and there will be slushies at the dead end. Berry slushy. Oh, it's very delicious berry slushy. And you can buy like a crazy straw, and it costs like fucking dollars. Does anybody else in the community fucking hate station work? Fucking hate it here. I like watching footage of bears eating berries with only their lips. Please don't lick the wall berries. I beg of you. Is this triggering to any Minecraft players out there? It's a lot of earth moving going on. The Berry Picker Plaza at the top of the Berry Hill is almost complete. But there are still areas that are dangerous to guests, like these poorly lit stairs. There we go. The color purple is starting to hurt my eyes and make me irrationally angry. So I built this staff area and something that makes other people angry, one of those tree antennas. When you fly by like this, it looks finished. There's still a lot of tiny things to do though. Come and sit on Papa's lap. I'm going to tell you why we don't theme the tracks until the end. Long story short, I'm making this shit up as I go. I had no idea that I would put a spinning coaster here, and if I themed the entire daisy chain coaster, then I would have to delete theming just to build another coaster. This fucking circle kept me up at night. It stole happiness from me, and it was really hard to find something that worked with this awkward shape. After multiple days of suffering through building and demolishing, I finally came up with this small food and snack area with this broken tree, which is an amazing TMTK item. Shout out to the broken tree. I had to keep all of the scenery in this area as short and stout as possible. I want Omen to look so big and so large, and I want Omen to feel so big and feel so large, so I'm not going to intimidate it by adding a tall building right in front of it. You know what I'm saying? Apparently Devil Dogs is a nickname for the US Marines, but today it's a nickname for hot dogs that are hot and near a satanic reference. There's also candy, and there's also donuts, and there's a sign, and no, there's no name, and no, I don't want suggestions. I don't always do custom supports. I'm doing it now because it just doesn't feel right, you know? It just didn't look right. We've been over this. Curbs, mulch, make the building look like it belonged there. I was really afraid that this would come out so ugly, and I actually really like it. Now let's do another soul-sucking task. Let's try to fit a line in this tiny, tiny area. God!
It's like a bunny.
I spent all of my creative energy on the hot dogs and the bunny ears, so this is trees, bushes, and rocks. That's it. Let's get down with basic shapes and make some basic bushes, and then we put the bushes somewhere else.
I love the charm and the simplicity of the bushes. I also love the simplicity of concrete floor.
That's a big empty space right there. I will put the magic hat there, and the magic hat is a gift shop. I don't usually build interiors because it's a pain in the ass. Can't help myself when it comes to gift shops though. I absolutely have to kit that shit out, as Nerd Chacho would say. Here's some more amazing TMTK all over the gift shop to make it look cluttered and alive. I'm putting in all of this effort fully knowing that for some children none of this shit will matter because they're only going to buy a bag of rocks. It's me, I'm some kids. You know, it's kind of hard to resist though. There are commands on some of them that say things like, fill the bag. I don't know, that feels very authoritative. Maybe it's the font? Speaking of fonts, Frontier, I'm not done talking shit. I have to know what you were smoking when you thought that 8 fonts total was a good amount of fonts. Also, why can't I use the font that's included in the UI? Why can't I use the font for the Frontier logo? Why can't I use the font for the Planet Coaster logo? All of these fonts are already licensed in your game, and you did not include them for the player.
Maybe when you write this wrong, I'll consider beginning to forgive you.
But for now, all of my hope lies in the knowledge I learned from
Aroseo.
They said, the fonts are stored in OVL files as a part of the game resources. That means the font files are compressed into OVL files, making it hard to add or remove fonts. If you're some kind of smarty pants and you know how to add and remove OVL font files, then you should stop gatekeeping and you should tell us all how to do that right now. Please. Holy shit, a Ferris wheel in a river appeared. It's a man-made river, so the water has to come from somewhere. And of course, there's gonna be a big splash when the train, when the train does that. I don't know how to tell you this, but I don't know how a water wheel works. Okay, I figured it out. There we go. You know, they say that you shouldn't judge a fish on its ability to climb trees. And I would hazard a guess that fish don't have a lot of experience with water currents either. Stupid fish. I really should have put a troll under this bridge. Or maybe the other bridge that you'll see in a second, but I need to go back and find some sort of TMTK troll and put a troll under there. Okay, back to very important troll business. I'm looking for a troll that's giving Eldian mythology devil of all earth. I'm looking for a troll that smells like earth and is covered in moss. Closest match I could find was Harold the Yeti. However, Harold the Yeti is blue, and he probably smells like ice and piss. It is my understanding that Harold is originally from World of Warcraft. Good for Harold. Unfortunately, Harold is not our troll under the bridge, so we're gonna move on to a waterfall for now. I'm not interested in learning Blender and making my own troll, so that's not a solution. I'm fixated on this. I'm surprised I couldn't find my perfect troll. Search terms like satyr, World of Warcraft, demon, devil, evil, monster, horns, and troll all do not bring me the troll I desire. Troll business is over. Officially end the meeting and clock the meeting notes. My original plan for this was to have the path go through the loop so that guests would walk under the ride. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm putting a cool cave here. That's what I'm doing. I'm tired of this, and I want to build a building. I don't know if you can tell from the vocal fry in my voice, but smoking is allowed in the park, and because of it, there is a fire hazard looming at every corner, and we need a fire station. There are special perks for firemen and firewomen who are employed by Gateways West Virginia. By showing their employee ID badge, they will get free entry, and they can purchase up to 5 discounted tickets or annual passes. This special benefit also extends to all of our hired security guards and sanitary service workers. Fun fact, every single fire captain at Gateways West Virginia is titled Captain Barry, both as a nod to the coaster nearby and the original fire captain of the park, Captain Barry Fucker. Oh my god, thank god you're awake. Jesus. Thought you were gonna miss this transition. Wha-bam! Look at that, now it's a raft ride. The queue for this ride is gonna suck. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be like really bad. Like being in line for Superman at Six Flags Magic Mountain, but worse, if you can even imagine such a thing. It's loud, it's crowded, and you can smell everyone's BO. You have no idea what's going on the outside world. Suddenly, it's 28 days later, you get off the ride and there's zombies everywhere. You just wanted to ride the raft ride. What the fuck is this? Bridge number 3, everyone. Give it up for bridge number 3. Yeah, that's right. I'm not the only one excited about a bridge. Yeah. Just making sure nobody gets decapitated in here. Yeah, it's all good. That's where I'm gonna stop for now. I'm gonna move on to other things because, like I said, I might build rides around this ride. Don't want to waste my time building stuff I'll just delete. That's how I live. Okay, the next project is super simple. Nothing crazy. It's a signature restaurant at the park entrance with an outdoor deck over the waterfall and Omen Dive. We're doing an interior with a bar and an exterior window with a smaller to-go version of the restaurant menu. The menu, by the way, is the exact menu from this Firebird's location. In fact, everything is the same. The employees are the same, the managers are the same, and their memories are the same. The interiors are not the same, but they're similar. Somebody call Captain Barry. There's a fire. In his retirement, Captain Barry was a terrible drunk. While intoxicated, he would approach park guests and ask them if they knew who he was. When told no, Captain Barry would then sit on the ground and begin to cry. Security escorted him out frequently, but his lifetime pass was never revoked. Captain Barry's heart mysteriously stopped on the 10th of September in 2008. Don't forget to have big tables as well as small tables to make your restaurant look more alive. You know, variety is the spice of life. This bird's name is Shit for Brains because it died. Oh yes, this establishment sells novelty steins. I am satiated by the aesthetics. Hank Hill would enjoy a fine meal here, much to his delight and surprise. Your father will complain about the price of the meal here for the rest of your fucking life. If you have some sort of problem with unevenness, I'm finally moving over to the left half of the park. You're welcome. Surprise, surprise, we're starting a build with rocks. We're decorating on the raft track again. By the way, this raft track is called Goodman's Falls. You may get wet, you will get soaked. Maybe not like right here, but later. Right here, your Nana might like stand on the path with her phone and take a really blurry picture of you, or a video that is right before you went by and right after you went by, but not when you went by. She will never delete these images. New lore, one time this guy jumped out of his raft and he went in the shed because he wanted to see what was inside, and there were like 40 spiders and they all bit him and he died. I have to be really careful with the theming in this cave so that I don't, you know, like clothesline anyone. Same story with the branches, but I'm more worried about people's eyes and limbs. We need all of this theming so that guests understand that now they're underground and they're in danger. Little sprinkle of electric shock hazard won't hurt. See the danger. Goodman's Falls was Captain Barry's favorite ride in the park. He would say, water good, fire bad. The timeline is starting to get really confusing because I have not finished the ride and it is his favorite. I am God, so does it matter? I don't know. But this is what the ride looks like so far. This is as close as I'll get to drowning any people. Watch these kids. Boom, drowned. Now an alligator is threatening their family. I'm done with that, and now I'm going to build a very special restroom. A restroom for service dogs. This tangent isn't about service dogs, it's about police dogs, but some of them like definitely know that they work for the cops and they like it. I don't know how else to describe it. You can just like look at the dog's face and you can tell that it derives joy from putting you in jail. That dog doesn't work for the cops. He is the fucking cops. We need to blend the omen zone and the magic zone. This is a really good ride for anybody who was traumatized by the movies Volcano or Dante's Peak. Enjoy your heart attack, bitch. Everyone signs a burn injury waiver when they get on this ride, and first aid is 30 yards away. Can't help but think about Captain Barry's wise words in a time like this. Water good, fire bad.
I scream and I scream. I scream.
You've got roughly 5 seconds to guess the next ride and they already started. Drop Tower! Theming drop towers is a really unique and fun challenge in the Planet Coaster game. I like to start with some basic shapes to guide my set pieces at every drop zone in the tower. Now, I don't have to think about if a piece is in the right place, if a guest can see it, if it's visible from the outside of the ride. I already have a guide, and as long as I follow it, I can get as creative as I want. This also makes changing elements of the ride much simpler and easier, especially if you look at the set piece and decide how you feel about it before you sink it into the rest of the building. For example, this lava waterfall with steam used to be 2 unicorns, and the lighting didn't look very good, and it kind of stuck out from the rest of the ride. Changing the lighting didn't really help the unicorns, so I decided to just scrap it completely and go for something a little bit scarier. The queue for this ride was a really difficult build for me, because I put in too many fucking details. I put in like a magical storehouse of enchanted items and starry night floors and doors and stairs to nowhere and windows that are floating on their own and the wizard's magical like astrology setup. This is an elevator for guests that can't use the stairs to board the ride. That's not magical. That's just ADA compliance. If I don't build an elevator, the exit is always on a ramp so that those who are wheelchair bound or who cannot use the stairs can go up the exit instead. There are no wheelchair-bound characters in the game, but this Barbie includes them. Anyway, this is the wizard's garden. It's full of wizard herbs and wizard spices. You know, your standard colobus bingles and ibuprofen. Even though it's a really bad idea to drink heavily before you get on a drop tower, I am building a bar right next to the entrance of the drop tower. The theme is like old dragon's cave. Will the dragon come back? We don't know. Why don't you just think positive thoughts instead of bringing that into the universe, you know? Like, stop saying something negative. Sorry, I forgot to record building a building, but it really is just a medieval square. Some of you may happen to be going into battle and may want to purchase the strongest potions available from the potion seller. You do have to prove that you are strong enough for the strongest potions. That just means we card everyone, even if you appear to be over 60. And there's no potions for children, which is confusing because the potions are served with glitter, a magic glowing ice cube, and a tiny fairy on the rim of the cup. For a $2 upgrade, they will give you a crazy straw. For a $5 upgrade, they'll give you a sippy cup. Before Epcot added the Moana Journey of Water, if I was too hot, I would just go to the jumping fountains by Journey to Imagination and let them pelt me repeatedly. You should try it. You should try letting them hit you in the face. Please just take my word for it. I did schedule these with like a display sequencer so that they jump instead of just raining. There are no trains in the park yet, and that's bad. Choo-choo. This is the Nightwood Express. It's Big Thunder Mountain, basically, but with like a magic skin instead of a Western skin.
I deleted and rebuilt the track from scratch 5 times. The block sections required several adjustments to include 3 trains at optimal capacity.
I've left myself like no room to decorate this queue, so wish me luck. I kept this area really simple, 1, because I did not give myself a lot of room to work with, and 2, because I don't want any overpowering theming to clash with the tower.
Put your bag in the bin.
If you're going to build around your queue, avoid a curly queue because buildings have right angles. Really frustrating, I know. How much of my footage is rocks, honestly? Maybe I should just quit immediately. I shouldn't have recorded this, and I shouldn't have included it like it was interesting. While I do a bunch of boring landscaping, I'm gonna tell you a story. One time, several baby quail got lost and scattered in my garage. Nothing else interesting happened. We just had to guide them to the exit peacefully. You should know that you can just delete a roller coaster station and keep the track pieces as a prop. This is the most customizable set piece you will ever have in Planet Coaster. This technique can be enhanced by the No Track Limit mod, which I am not using today. This is also a really good workaround when the terrain tool is just not cooperating and you need a splash zone. Just grab a water track and throw it in there. Now you have water. Some little freak is gonna climb these tracks and injure themselves. And none of these people are real. I have to remind myself that they're not real. There's a bunch of cargo because like where there's trains, there's cargo. But let's be honest with ourselves. What kind of cargo are we dropping off in the middle of an enchanted forest? What could that be? You know what? Don't tell me. I think I don't want to know. I have a ton of deleted footage of me trying to get some sort of floating rock effect to work in this theme, but it always just didn't look right. Goodman's Falls is getting really close to being finished. I would say that I definitely need to give the cave in there some love, but God, it's just a lot of landscaping, which is boring. We're looking at Gondola Line Blue. There will also be Gondola Line Red. We're getting really close to this lower lot section of the park. I love Universal Studios Hollywood. I have to include a lower lot, but first we need to finish up some of these upper lot items, including a lot of flat rides like this one. On the left, you can also see the line for... Okay, I don't know who that person is. Oh, Jesus. It must be like a boss from a Dark Souls game that like I don't know about or something. Okay. That's enough. Okay. Alright, my computer. Oh my god. I've never seen anything like this before. Usually the game just turns off if it crashes, so I don't know what this is, but wait. Holy shit, no fucking way. So I started working on this build in early April, and it looked like this when we started, if you remember. But now it looks like this. If I'm really good about my timing, I can finish Gateways West Virginia at the same time that Planet Coaster 2 is released. When you tune in for my next video, we're going to be working on the track theming for the Nightwood Express and getting it done completely before moving on anywhere else. The reason for this is I want the Nightwood Express to feel separate, like a totally magical land away from the park.